Hey, what's up, guys? Sean here. Raining again, but we're not going to let that stop us. This week, we're going to build a DIY cooler air conditioner to go in that Jeep for when we go camping. Let's get it. So the other day, my buddies from the Florida Bushcraft group went and did a summer camp. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it down there. I had other things I had to do, but sounds like I didn't miss a whole lot. They said it was super hot, really humid, and that kind of brings us into this week's video. You know, I told you guys that I want to be able to camp inside the Jeep. And, you know, with it being a closed-off space, I do have the little nets to go over the windows, but even in summertime, it's going to be hot in that Jeep. And here in Florida, it's going to be hot all the way up until probably November. So I wanted to build this DIY cooler air conditioner so we can use inside there, just to make it a little more comfortable for us to sleep in at night. Okay, so this is not going to be by any means a DIY video. I just kind of want to take you guys through and let you follow me as I build this. So I will show you a few things that I got, and I'll put a link in the description for everything that I used. Everything that I got, I pretty much got from Walmart, except for this PVC 45. And this is a 3-inch PVC 45 that I got from Home Depot. So, but let me just take you through and show you everything else I got. So the first thing I got was this little cooler. Now, I'm not trying to cool that thing or cool a big room or anything. I've seen the videos, and you guys are more than welcome to go check them out. These things can get as elaborate and technical as you want. That's not what I want right now. I want something that will be easy to build and easy to use. So I got this little cooler. This is a 9-quart cooler, and so that's going to be simple, small for me to be able to pack around and stuff. It's not going to be super heavy, and I think it's going to do what I need it to do, just keep the Jeep cool at night. I think this is an experiment, so I might be wrong. But so we've got the little 9-quart cooler. I also got this little USB fan. Now, my wife's got a USB fan. It's a 6-inch fan that already has the battery built into it. I like the idea of the battery being built into it, but a 6-inch fan was just a little too big for this box here. So what I've got is, this is just a little USB fan, and I do have my little power pack. So we'll test that out and see how long it'll run. This little USB fan, I have no idea. But if, you know, worst comes to worst, I can set up the USB to run off of a car battery or something. You know, it's pretty simple to power. I don't think it's going to take a whole bunch. Now, again, like I said, I got this PVC 45 from Home Depot, and it will just mount in the top of the cooler, and you'll be able to kind of turn it where you want it to. I got these little containers. Now what I'm going to do is, there's 2 of them here. I'll freeze water in both of these containers, and those blocks of ice will actually fit down inside this cooler. And personally, I think the blocks of ice will last longer than the cubes of ice, but I might be wrong. Now the other thing I got this little tray. It's it actually came from like the clothing or not the clothing, but like the basket section of Walmart. And it's just a little simple basket. It's got these little holes in it here. I may end up drilling holes along the top of it here to let water drip through, but I don't think, I mean, I may do that, but I don't think I'm going to. And this fits perfectly inside here, like it was made to go in there. Now what that's going to do is, those blocks of ice will actually sit on top of this, and that way it'll let air kind of blow around it and get up under it. And I think that will help the air be colder coming out of it. And then I don't know if I'll need it or not, but I got a little tube of silicone. So that's basically what we're going to use to build this. And so now we just got to get into building it. Doesn't look too promising, but we'll see. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the front piece off of this thing and make it where I can lay this thing flat down on it. Just like that. I might save those screws just in case. So I want this to lay flat on top of the cooler where I cut it out. So I'll use this little grill grate as a template. I don't think it's really going to matter. I just kind of want to center it up. And I don't want to come too far to this end because it's got to have that lip for support. Alright, that'll work. I'm going to mark around the outside edge of it. But I'm going to cut to the inside. That way I'll have room to put these screws in there. Something like that. And then I'll just... something like that, and then we'll take that piece out. Okay, I'm going to use the jigsaw to cut this thing out. Unfortunately, all I have is this pretty rough blade right here. So hopefully, if it makes, it doesn't make a huge mess of it. But if it does, we'll stop and do something different. Alright, I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work perfect. And so now we've just got to cut the hole out for this over here. I can put it somewhere down here. I may put it in line, or I may offset it a little bit. I don't know. Probably put it in line. Alright, that's next. Alright, I think we'll put this thing here. Just sort of roughly line it up. Now I want to get this pretty tight. Second verse, same as the first. Okay, so we got it all cut out. Now I'm hoping it'll fit. I want it tight. And it is. It's very tight. Actually, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. A super tight fit. And I can run a bead of silicone around the top of it. And that should be perfect. It'll keep it from going down inside, hopefully. And seal it off. Not that it needs to be sealed off, because air is going to blow right through that. But it'll kind of keep it around the top of it. And more or less just protect this and keep this from falling down inside. So I like the way it's coming along there. It looks good. And I'll probably seal around the bottom of it too for the same reason. But so I like that so far. I like the way that looks. And now I think we're gonna try to screw the fan into the top of it. I was gonna shoot this inside my little shop in there, but I still haven't got the lights fixed yet. So to be able to get good light for you, I wanted to do it out here. All right, let's get this thing lined up where I want it. I want to make sure I'm not overlapping this side. Perfect. I think I'm going to end up, once I know this is all going to work right, I'm going to end up grinding off these tabs right here and taking this leg off of there because I won't need it anymore. Alright, pre-drill these. You guys want to leave a comment below and let me know if you think this is going to work or if I'm losing my mind. You got a 50% chance of being right. Might as well try it. Well, okay. So I'm going to have to get my other bit out and make these holes a little bit bigger. Well, I'm not going to lie. Mistakes were made. And now I've got a fresh new hole in my table here. It happens. Alright. Well, that's good and solid. Okay, so I guess before we go any further, we should do a little test to see if it has enough airflow even to be worth continuing with. So I'm going to just tear a little piece of plastic off of this bag so you can see if it's blowing or not. And then we'll plug up the USB bank like that. I'll just hold this on here. Something like that. Now, let's flip her on. Seems to be doing alright. Now, I'm sure that this little fan isn't putting out a whole bunch. Actually, it's putting out a good bit of air. Actually, more than I expected. So, that's proof of concept right there. At least now I know it'll blow air through the box. Now, all we got to do is seal it up and put some ice in it, see how it works. Alright, I think when that stuff cures up, that will be plenty of retention to hold this in place. And that ought to work. So now we're going to have to get us some ice froze up and put in here and see how this thing works. Now this little basket that I got, it literally fits down in the bottom of it, doesn't slide around or anything. Just like it was made to go in there. Alright, so I'm too impatient to wait. So I've got the ice in the tray freezing. But what I did was I went and got a bunch of the cubed ice. And I don't know, it's probably roughly the same quantity, I would guess. I can't wait though. So I'm going to just put this ice inside of here. Actually, before I do that, let's get a test and see how warm the air is coming out of here first. Okay, so it's about 82 degrees outside right now. I'm going to turn this fan on, and I'm hoping you can see the screen on this thing. So we're going to kick it on, and we'll see if we can get a measurement. I'm hoping you can see that. It's saying that the air coming out is roughly 82.9 roughly. So now let's put the ice in it and see how it does. Okay, so we got the ice in there now, and I put a little water on top of the ice to kind of help it melt down just a little bit. So let's test this out and see what kind of cold air we're getting out of here. Now I can already tell you the air coming out of there is cooler, and this is 80-degree air outside. So the air coming out of that thing is running somewhere in the low to mid 50s. So okay, so that's pretty cool. It looks like it's running somewhere in the low to mid 50s coming out of here. And like I said before, we put the ice in there, it was in the low 80s. So that's close to 30 degrees difference from what it was before. So the problem is going to be, is there enough airflow, enough CFMs to exchange all the air in that Jeep and cool it off? That remains to be seen. So I think we're going to end up doing a overnight test tonight and plug this in. And what we'll do is I'm going to plug it into the lighter in my Jeep, and that way we can test a couple things. I can actually test to see if this fan will draw my battery down to dead on the Jeep, which I hope it doesn't. It shouldn't. That, and then we'll test to see overnight if this thing can actually cool that Jeep off enough to make it comfortable for us to sleep in. So that's going to be the next test we're going to do. So I'll go ahead and leave you for right now, and then tonight we'll do that test. Alright, so we're going to go analog with this. We've got the old style thermometer here, and we're going to throw this in here and let this thing just keep the temperature and see what it is tonight when we go to turn that cooler, air conditioner, whatever you call it, on. And then that'll give us a good base level to start with, and then we'll test it afterwards. Alright guys, so as you can see, it's nighttime. This is about the time that we would start getting ready for bed. So what I was thinking was maybe we would get this thing started maybe an hour and a half before we went to bed, and try to get the thing cooled down. So I doubt you'll be able to see it. Maybe you will. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. But anyway, the inside of the Jeep right now is roughly 82 degrees. So what I'll do is I'll leave this thing in there, and we'll get this thing turned on, and I'll come back in about an hour and a half, and we'll check and see what the inside of this Jeep is. And you know, I couldn't get the block of ice didn't freeze up solid in time, so I have just filled this thing back up with cubes of ice, and we'll just see. We're gonna let this thing run off of the car battery, and just let this thing run until morning, just like it would be if we were camping, and see what it does with the car battery, and then just see kind of how the ice melts overnight, and see what it keeps the temperature inside in the Jeep. So we're gonna kick this thing off and see how this thing does. Okay, so I've got it set up over here on the side. Now my Jeep has a 12-volt port back here in the back, so we're going to plug that thing up, turn it on somewhere right there. All right, we got good cold air coming out, so we're about 83 degrees, 82 degrees right now. We'll come back in an hour and a half and check this thing. Alright, well, let's go check it and see if it's cooling that Jeep off. Oh yeah, so it's noticeably cooler in here. Not tremendously cooler, but it's been about an hour, a little over an hour, and we're down to about 74 degrees, if you can see that. I know it's hard for you to see. So it's down to about 74, 76 degrees. And it's dropped it enough that when I stuck the camera in here, it fogged the lens up real quick. So I'm pretty happy with that, knowing that in that amount of time, it dropped it down enough to make it actually noticeably more comfortable in there. And so for me, that's a win. Now, it would probably be better if I put some sort of shade up or something behind the back seats. That way it would make the area even smaller, and that might be something that I'll try to do in the future. But for now, I'm calling this a win. I'm really excited about the way this whole thing turned out. I'm liking it. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys like videos like this, if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll see you next time. Hey, good morning guys. It's about 7 o'clock, and I'm going to go ahead and check this thing. See how the ice is doing in there, which I assume it's probably all melted, and see how the temperature is inside, and see if this thing will crank back up. Okay, so I can immediately tell it feels nice and cool in here. And we're running still about roughly, I guess it's, if you can see that, it's about 72 degrees, 74 degrees, maybe somewhere around there. So for me, that would be very, very comfortable to sleep in. Now I'm gonna open this thing up. I'm assuming that there is no ice left in there, and the air coming out of it is still cool-ish. So I'm gonna check this thing out real quick, see if there's any ice. Okay, so just as I suspected, there's no ice left in it. But the water is still cold in there, so that helps right there. The water is still cold, nice and cold inside there. And I think, you know, a block of ice would do a little better. Alright, so let's check this thing out and see if it'll actually crank. No problem. No problem at all. So I'm super happy about that. My gauges and everything still look good, so it doesn't look like it had a bit of problem at all. So I'm calling it a win. I'm really happy. Now we need to go try actually camping in it. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.